What's happening, YouTube? You are watching the RCR YouTube channel, and today we have this one, the X5 M Competition, the pre-facelift. And here's the key to it, and I'll give you a review of this car, and I'll tell you why this is still actually the best car to actually have. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you around through the car. I want to tell you why this is still one of the gorgeous cars to get as opposed to the facelift. I'll start with the design. So this one is still having that M proper look. The new one actually has that apron that goes round about there and joins it to that part, which a lot of people are not actually excited about. This still has those kidney grills, which are fantastic to look at, and the air vents over there. A lot of people on the internet were complaining about those new ones. These ones are still the originals. And by the way, these air vents are just not for show. This right here has 6 radiators all around here, cooling down that V8 engine. But let me proceed on with the design and tell you why this is still one of the gorgeous cars to have. The rims right there, still actually configured from the same rim that you get from the LCI, which has the 21 and that's a 22. That's a 295 35 295 35 21, and that is 315 right there. 315 30 22. This right here, these are big tires. The silhouette is still the same, very gorgeous. Look at that. That houses a 4.4 V8 twin turbo, but we're going to get to that in a second. Let me go just behind the car. At the back, yes, this is actually the old one, which still actually looks very much similar to that one, but things sort of change when we go inside. Still have the quad exhausts over there, which actually sound like this. To 100 in 3.8 seconds. As you can see, I'm actually on the X5 M Competition, the driving, and I'm currently averaging 12 liters per 100 kilometers. We're driving down the N2 highway, just slow traffic. It's a little bit windy and rainy, but the V8 is actually holding up very well. Comfortable seats. I've heard people actually on YouTube mentioning that this car is very uncomfortable. Actually, it is actually comfortable, very comfortable, but it depends what comfort is. There's X7 floaty comfortable, then there is this, which is moderate comfortable, but it's still comfortable. Nonetheless, we have your M1 settings here, M1, M2, So if I press on that right now, and okay, I don't know if this is the one. Okay, no, it's still on autonomous driving, but it brings up the settings of the M configurations. Just if you go from here on the settings itself, so you can configure the sounds for the exhaust. You can consider the setup of this, basically now how it looks like. Your engine, you can make it how meaty you want it, the chassis how uncomfortable you want it, how stiff the steering you want it, and how aggressive you want the brakes to be. But if you want to dial that back, of course you can go back to efficient, comfort, and then everything dials back down to a normal car, and then we are driving comfortably. As I'm talking to you guys, there's a bit of activity that's happening here thanks to the radar driving assist, which is keeping me safely in the line. This, you have bolster seats which are hugging you with the X5M illuminated there. And yeah, this is a 4.4 V8 twin turbo, which has 6 radiators, 4 water pumps, and 2 turbos, of course. And this is fit for a racetrack. But if you can check at the back, you have room for comfortable adults, 3 to be precise, panoramic sunroof. What else would you want? There's a couple of things. First of all, this car's price is right now, as a pre-owned, it is priced at 2.6 million rand in South Africa, right? And that is just only it's being pre-owned. It can drop up to 2.4 million rand. And another thing, this car, its maintenance, when you look at the tires of this car, so for instance, this car in South Africa, this is the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. There we go, Pilot Sport 4S. That tire in South Africa, just one tire on its own, it's costing 7,000 rand each. Because this car is a 4-wheel drive. You can't rotate these tires. So these are 21s, this is a 22 as I started the video. One tire, 7,000 rand. That tire, one of it, 10,000 rand. 10,000 rand. So already 2.6 million, 7,000 rand, 10,000 rand, and you need to buy 4. I'll do the math for you. So for you to buy on a wear and tear of these tires, you will need to spend roughly 40,000 rand at Tiger Wheel and Tire to change these tires, right? 40,000 rand. And I'll talk about the maintenance, or well, before we actually talk about the maintenance, because this is an M car, please look at this. BMW recommends Shell V-Power. Basically, you cannot add any type of fuel here as opposed to your high-grade premium fuel because of one of the simplest reason. That engine over there that you saw, that engine can only consume the premiumest, finest gasoline, petrol that you can find. Okay, so that's just the nuts and bolts of the maintenance. Luckily in South Africa, we do get the BMW maintenance plan, which comes in at 5 years or 100,000 kilometers, depending what comes in first. But then if that 5 years has been done, you need to be servicing this car out of pocket. And clearly with just roughly these numbers, if you're looking at 2.6 million rand, that is roughly 40 to 45,000 rand installment per month for the next 5 years. If this car comes in brand new, it was dated back when it was released, this car was at 2.9 million rand without the extras. So a couple of things that are mentioned in this car comes actually standard, but some things do not come standard. For instance, this car has the panoramic sunroof, which I'll show you now, right there. But this one didn't have the light, the diamond light, which actually matches with the ambient light. That is an extra. This doesn't have. So this is not a car for an ordinary South African. If you're looking at these figures, and I'm telling you around about 40,000 rand for you to own this car on a monthly basis, considering that you need to add another 40 to get these tires. So clearly this is not an ordinary car. Oh, another thing, this car takes around about 83 liters of fuel. So which means that right now I'm in the coast. As you can see, the number plate is ND. Right now I stand to be corrected, but the fuel of this car per, I think, the 95 high octane grade is sitting at 24 rand a liter, which means if you had to add up the numbers, it comes up to 1,900 rand on a fill up, which actually wouldn't take that long because this car is thirsty, very thirsty. So in Gauteng, where basically I live, we are sitting at 25 rand a liter, which means that you will fill up this car at a roughly 2,300 rand every time it fills up. And depending on the usage of the car, you will be using this car a lot. So it's not for an ordinary South African. If this is bumping you up a little bit, I would suggest you go with the X5 3-liter diesel. But then again, as an X5 variant, looking at the tires as well, the 3-liter diesel does not escape from the tire cost, because that is 40,000 rand. But then on the 3-liter diesel, the tires will cost you around about, I would say 35,000 rand. So still, these numbers are not for an ordinary South African. So as perfect as this car would be, if you earn an amount of, let's give or take 100,000 rand or 83,000 rand, yes, you can afford this car. But again, it's subjected to affordability. If you guys like the content of this video, please consider subscribing. It will help us grow the channel. Cheers.